What is it like being a Jamaican living in Zanzibar? Hi, I'm Xavier Murphy, founder of Jamaicans.com. And today in Jamaicans to the World, I talk to Simone Christie, a Jamaican living in Zanzibar. Hi, Simone, how are you?
Hi Xavier, how you doing?
I'm good, I'm good. Man, I love the background. I love the nature there. Sunny day. Nice, very nice.
Thank you. The trees do all the work.
Ah, so where in Jamaica you're from, and give us a little bit about your background.
Oh, okay. I'm from Kingston, Jamaica. Uh, I grew up, well, first in Portmore, then in Kingston. Moved to go to prep and high school at Immaculate from kindergarten one to upper six. So I'm a Mac girl. Yeah, I'm a Mac girl. And then after upper six, I went to Howard. I'd originally planned to go to UA, but that never, things happened. I was supposed to study dentistry. Then I went to Howard with these big dreams of becoming a dentist. And then I said, I don't really want to spend my whole life dealing with people teeth. How do I want to work? I love science. How do I
Okay.
want to work with society, but not necessarily one to one? So engineering came across my path in a very roundabout way because my dad is a civil engineer, and I ended up studying civil engineering at Howard. And then I moved to New Jersey, and I was working for environmental civil engineering consulting firm. Then I got a project in Lesotho for about 3 months. Then I moved back to New Jersey, and then after that, they called me
Les-
back to work
Les-
on the project.
Lesotho.
Lesotho. Yes, it's a very tiny landlocked country, completely surrounded by South Africa. Yes. So, say in Kingston, you look out the window, maybe you see the sea. In Lesotho, you look out the kitchen window, you see South Africa.
Wow. And
Yeah.
how long were you there?
I was in Lesotho for 7 years, and
Wow.
then I moved to South Africa because I was going to South Africa almost every weekend because I have a lot of friends in Joburg. So I moved to Johannesburg and lived there for 2 years until COVID.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Wow. That's nice.
So I've
Is
been
it
on the continent for a while. Yes.
so is it very different inside Lesotho than outside than because again it's surrounded by South Africa to an extent. Well, it is. So
Completely.
right. So is a culture, is everything almost different?
Same, but different. Because Lesotho is more, I'd say, it's more rural. Um, there's more like small scale farming, but South Africa has several different ethnic groups, and one of them is the Sotho people. And Lesotho, you have Basotho, so they're cousins or brothers and sisters. So there's a lot of people living on both sides of the border who are in the same group,
Okay.
Basotho people. Yeah.
All right. So I think we're close to now Zanzibar, an island, part of Tanzania. How did
Yes.
you get there? And, did you know anything about Zanzibar before you actually landed here?
Oh yes, definitely. Well, Zanzibar has a very exotic sounding name. It sounds like this mysterious place. So I had visited first time, I think around 2012, 2013, with my cousin and some friends. My cousin who lives in Jamaica now, and some friends. We went on safari in Kenya, and then from Arusha we flew to Zanzibar. So that was the first time I went, and I came to visit twice after. So I'd been to Zanzibar several times before I decided to purchase land and move here.
Wow. What was that? What was the process like purchasing land there and the actual move for you? Were you moving from the US at that point, or were you moving from South Africa?
I was moving from South Africa. I had purchased land with a friend around 2018 before COVID. COVID, like the timeline get confused. So I think it's around early 2018, and then
Yes.
tw- early 2019. Yes, February 2019. I was still finalizing the land registration, etc., and then COVID hit. So the plan was always to come to Zanzibar before the world got disrupted.
Mm. So you run a business there. So you're not only living there, you're living and running a business there. Tell us a little bit about your business there, and I have a follow up after. So tell us a little bit about it first.
Okay, so Fahari Off the Grid is my restaurant. We're in Kizimkazi at the southern tip of Zanzibar, across the water from Dar es Salaam, which is the economic hub of Tanzania. Zanzibar is in Tanzania. It's a part of Tanzania, but it's a semi-autonomous region, so it's not exactly like mainland Tanzania. So Zanzibar is more touristic. It's beautiful. Well, all of Tanzania is beautiful, but Zanzibar is known for its beaches. So we're right here on the waterfront, on the ocean. We serve, I call it Jamaican fusion. It's not like the kind of food that you would probably cook at home or grow up eating at home, but it's my interpretation of Jamaican food and all my travels, because I like to travel a lot. I've been a bit around the world and Africa, so we put a spin on Jamaican food.
So you take the best of the motherland and merge it with Jamaican food then.
Yes, motherland, Asia, Middle East, Europe. Yeah. So it's
All
kind
right.
of like, I guess it's kind of like my philosophy on the world through my Jamaican eyes.
So you're moving from engineer. I don't know if you're chef, cook, head bottle washer, whatever. How did
I
that transition and that idea come about, that, from engineer to restaurant owner?
Well, I'm definitely the head bottle washer. Definitely. Uh, um, I've always been interested in travel, as I mentioned, and I understand firsthand in growing up as a Jamaican the impact that tourism can have on the economy and development of a people. But conversely, we also know the adverse impacts that tourism can have. And working on my projects in Lesotho, especially, we focused on, of course, providing the engineering solutions, but also the social and environmental impacts of providing infrastructure. And it's like, okay, so tourism is also a use case for that. So how can I have a positive impact on what can be a very extractive industry? And plus, I love food. So how can I give an experience to people visiting a new place? Because sometimes a lot of the people, when they come to Zanzibar, they've never been anywhere else in Africa, and all the stereotypes and images of Africa that are out there. Yes, Zanzibar is developing, but people not living in trees. We don't pass lions on the way to where we're going. You know what I mean? So
Yes.
how can we, how can a small island, in the scheme of things, Jamaica is also a small island. How can we have
Don't tell us.
impact
Don't
beyond?
don't let the Jamaican us hear that. We don't want to hear that.
Okay, in the context of like Madagascar and Australia, Jamaica is a
Okay.
small island. But but back to the Jamaica, just because you're small doesn't mean that you can't have a huge outsized impact on the world. So
Right.
we do what we do.
Give me an example of a Jamaican fusion dish that I would find in your restaurant.
Okay, good question. One of our best sellers is our escovitch ceviche. So escovitch comes from the Spanish tradition of escabeche, and ceviche is from South and Central America. So we make a ceviche and we put escovitch pickle on it, on top of it, and we serve it on avocado salsa. So you have the lime cooked fish. Well, it's not cooked, but the lime marinated fish on top of the avocado salsa, but we have the escovitch pickle on it. Another one
Okay.
is we make our own bami in house. So we do, and I was getting a lot of questions from people for gluten-free options. So we did a bami bruschetta. So it's the bami as a base instead of bread, and we have the tomato and parsley and olive oil on top.
Okay. So What is one thing that you wish someone had told you before you moved to Zanzibar?
Okay. So Zanzibar, as I said, especially where I am in Kizimkazi, is quite rural, quite slow paced. I thought I was prepared having lived in Africa for over 10 years, but you have to pack a lot of patience. Um, a lot of the Most of the people who live here don't necessarily have the same experiences or worldview as you. So first, accept people as they are and meet them where they are to show them where you want to go.
Okay.
I am not the most patient person in the world, so that was reinforced.
All right. So the people there and things there are teaching you patience. What's cost of living like?
So when it comes to food now, if you buy local ingredients, food, fruit, vegetable, meat, etc., it can be quite, not even just affordable, quite inexpensive. But if you're looking for imported stuff like a lot of the snack foods and processed foods just in general, then things can get expensive, especially like cheese. Yeah. Um, Internet is very expensive here. Either fiber or connect to your phone hotspot. I find internet is expensive here. Electricity is affordable. Water is very cheap.
All right. Now, a question on activities. What are some of the activities there that you love to do?
One of my favorite things is in the morning, because I live on the East Coast, is to go for a walk on the beach before everybody wake up. So like maybe 6:30, 7 o'clock. I haven't done it in a while because still in building mode. But when I have time, it's nice to walk on the beach, listen to a podcast, walk for like an hour, and then start my day.
Okay. What are the people like?
So people are very family oriented and community oriented. So it reminds me of how Jamaica was like when I was growing up. So everybody know everybody. So like even if I'm driving home at night, say I have car problems at midnight and I pull over on the side of the road, random people will come and say, "Are you okay? I know a mechanic. Let me call the mechanic." This has happened several times.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. Yeah, I had an experience there on my visit.
Okay.
And being Jamaican, got us to the front of the line. Um, we were late coming back to the ferry to come to the mainland, and when we showed the Jamaican passport, the guy started singing Bob Marley,
I
and
believe
took
that.
us to the front. He took us to the front of the line to get back on the ferry. And I was blown away, because the ferry line. That ferry
Yes.
line is it's
Yes.
typically a
And
long line.
confusion. Yes. Yes.
Yes, the man said, Jamaicans? Oh my gosh. Man, take us right to the front of the line.
Something about the Jamaican passport on this side of the world, you just feel so welcome, borderline celebrity. So
I
any
felt like a celebrity.
Yeah, yeah.
And myself and my wife felt like a celebrity here. What is their what are their impressions of Jamaica?
I in okay in general on the continent, I've found that people have very positive impressions of Jamaica. The music speaks before we even open our mouth, and especially the lyrics. So I think there's a overwhelming positive sentiment about Jamaica, Jamaicans. Sometimes people might not have enough information about the country itself, but you will hear reggae music everywhere, and people seem to think of us as warm, fun, philosophical people, which we are, but it's just nice to see other people see that in us when sometimes we don't see that in ourselves.
Nice, nice. You have lived and visited, I should say, many countries across the motherland. You have lived there, and so on. what advice would you give to a Jamaican who is thinking of moving to the motherland or that side of the world?
Well, number I'd say come. People, as I said, are very welcoming. They think very in general very well of Jamaica. I think, but before you pick up and move over, you should come for a visit first. It's very different from definitely different from the US and Europe and UK and Canada. Um, the pace of life, depending on where you pick, is slow. Zanzibar is a lot slower than Jamaica. So come for a visit first. Be open. Expect that things will sometimes not immediately make sense to you, but as you look, you observe, you feel the rhythm, you feel the pattern. But I'd say come and check it out. We need more Jamaicans over this side. Yes.
All right, good advice. Um, Listen, I appreciate you taking the time to tell us about living, doing business there in Zanzibar. Really appreciate it. No, I'm sure you have picked up on some of the language there. So, how do you say, how do they say informally goodbye in Zanzibar?
Kwaheri.
Koheri?
Kwaheri.
Kwaheri.
Yes.
All right. Kwaheri Simone.